Hi, it's me, Jessica, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you 7 reasons why freelance writers don't get hired. I mean, freelance writing is a very competitive field. It's becoming more and more competitive, I should say. And that means you're going to have to do some things to make sure that you get hired. So in this video, I'm going to share with you reasons that I see writers don't get hired. A lot of these are reasons that I didn't get hired in the past when I first got started. And hopefully you can take these tips that I share with you, correct any of them that you might be doing, or never do any of them that I was doing, and you can have a very successful career with your freelance writing. Okay, so here we go. The number one reason I've noticed that writers do not get hired is because they have poor writing samples. When a person is getting ready to hire you or consider hiring you, and you're competing with, 10, 20, sometimes 30 other candidates, your samples have to be really strong. So when writers have poor samples, or sometimes no samples at all, or not a good variety of samples, these can be reasons why you will get passed over, okay? So you want to make sure you have a variety of samples. Reason number 2, a poor cover letter. And cover letters are what you send in with any of your samples. Usually a cover letter can just be a statement of why people should hire you, and in these cover letters you really need to be really good at selling yourself, and a lot of times writers are not good at selling themselves. When you're writing your cover letter, you need to read what they wrote. Why did they say they needed someone? Did they say they needed someone because in the past who they had didn't work? Or did they say they needed someone because this is their first time trying to implement an email campaign? Or did they say they're just now trying to get into SEO, or they need a new website? Like, when you're writing your cover letter, you don't need to talk so much about you, but you need to talk about how your expertise or your experience or your drive is going to help them reach their goals. That's what your cover letter needs to be about. And oftentimes, many writers, their cover letter just is honestly not hitting the mark. In addition, it shouldn't be boring. You don't. If you're going to be a writer, you need to think like, you don't want to become across as boring, and you don't want to get too wordy and have a bunch of words that don't make sense or you're not getting to the point fast enough. So make sure that your cover letter is speaking to the pain point that your potential client has said that they need solved. 2, make sure that your cover letter is interesting. And 3, and by interesting, I don't mean just over the top. I just mean it's not boring. And then 3rd, make sure that it's concise and to the point. The 3rd reason that oftentimes freelance writers don't get hired is because they have not built any industry rapport. They have not built any connections with anyone in the field that they want to get into. So oftentimes you need to nurture relationships. And that was a wasp blooper. Oftentimes, pulse. Another reason oftentimes freelance writers don't get hired is because they haven't built any industry rapport. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. And by industry rapport, I mean, is there a certain industry you want to get into, or a certain area that you want to write for? Start building rapport with these people. And by building rapport, make a list of what kind of clients do you want to write for. Start connecting with them on social media, and start commenting, and not stalking, but commenting on videos or tweets or posts that they make on Facebook or on LinkedIn. Start going in, making yourself seen and known, and they will, trust me, they will take notice. And this is an excellent way to just start building rapport. Also, build rapport with other writers in the industry. Don't see them as your competitors. See them as your comrades, because there's enough writing work to go around. And if you can connect with other writers who are already where you want to be, oftentimes they may get an opportunity for a job, and they can pass on something to you if their load is too large. I can't tell you how many times I've had to give away work because my plate is too full, or I'm not interested in taking on any new clients. And that's something that can absolutely happen for you. So work on building rapport, that whether that means building rapport with potential clients, building rapport with people in the industry, or building rapport with people who are in the same field as you. I guarantee you, I mean, it will make a huge difference. The next reason a lot of times freelance writers don't get hired is because they don't have a visual portfolio. And by a visual portfolio, I mean that they don't have any way for people to really see them. They may have some link here on some website, or they may have a Google Doc there, or they may have a PDF file saved here. But in terms of just having all samples together inside of one place where people can find everything easily, a lot of writers don't have that, especially when they're new. So getting yourself a freelance writing portfolio that's organized and together and visually appealing and digital, because we live in a digital age, is going to be very important in having success in your freelance writing career. Okay, my next reason that I noticed that a lot of freelance writers don't get hired is because they have not differentiated themselves from other writers. This is going to be really important when you're wanting to stand out. To differentiate yourself means to when people hear your name, or at least they can say, "Oh, I've heard about you," and that can happen in a really short amount of time, actually. Especially when you're like in a certain target market, people will eventually hear about you. So a good way to start differentiate yourself is to, one, like really narrow down what kind of writing you do and what kind of clients you write for. That's going to really help you to just focus on that kind of writing, and you'll get really, really good at it, and you will become known for doing that kind of writing. That doesn't mean that you don't do any other type of writing. So for example, if you're really good at writing content blogs and things like that, that doesn't mean that you never write emails and you never write sales pages. That's not what that means. It just means that you become really good at writing content, and people know you for that, and then they'll recommend you because they know that you're really good at doing that. So really get good at the kind of writing, start to specialize. Another tip in differentiating yourself is to just really amp up your social media. So start putting the kind of writing you do on your website if you have one, and I recommend you get one. Start to differentiate yourself like a LinkedIn and Facebook. This is going to be extremely important when trying to stand out from other writers, because many other writers aren't taking the time to do that, and you will definitely be head and shoulders above the competition if you can nail that down. Okay, another reason that I see people, freelance writers, don't get hired is because they're too slow to take action. You as a writer, sometimes as writers, we get in our heads and we want to overthink things because we want things to be perfect. And while that is good in some cases when we're producing work, you don't want it to you don't want it to stop you from taking action. And oftentimes that's what I see. I see that it just stops a lot of people from taking action completely. Don't overthink when it's time to apply for a position. When you see an opportunity, or when an opportunity presents itself, you need to act. You need to act, you need to act, you need to act. And oftentimes a lot of people don't act because A, they don't have a cover letter already ready. B, they're second guessing and wondering, oh, am I qualified? Am I qualified? It doesn't matter if you're qualified. Like, don't overthink it. Get yourself out there. Let them tell you no. You don't tell yourself no. I learned that in college. One of my college professors told me that. And I've had that philosophy to this day, and it has served me very well. Don't let others tell you no. Don't you tell yourself no. You let others tell you no. So that means apply. Try for it. Throw your hat in the ring. And you will have a better chance at success if A, you've differentiated yourself already from the competition, B, you have really strong writing samples, and C, your samples are organized and in one place. So don't be too slow. Don't take days to apply. When you see an opportunity, you go ahead and strike while the iron is hot. And another and probably final reason that I can see a lot of freelance writers don't get hired is because they're jaded. And because they've been jaded or they're so self-conscious about what's happened in the past, oftentimes they don't even try for positions. So I would absolutely say don't allow that to stop you from just putting yourself out there and making this a success, because you can absolutely be successful at this. Okay, so I hope that this is helpful for you and that you can see that these are reasons that you can be very successful in your freelance writing career, and to just put your hat in the ring. Go ahead, like, you can absolutely do this. And if for any reason you need freelance writing samples, you need really good strong samples to put in your portfolio, I have freelance writing sample templates that you can download, and they're absolutely free. Go ahead and download them now and use them to put them in your portfolio. Even if you already have a portfolio, these samples can only help. They can't hurt. And if you are brand new, these samples will absolutely, you will stand apart with these samples, trust me. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope that you got a lot from it. Go ahead, you can absolutely do this. I'm cheering you on. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them down below. Like and comment as well. Subscribe and share with anyone else who you want to, who you know is interested in freelance writing and needs to know these kinds of things, okay? So stay tuned in my next video. I can't wait to bring you back some more content. I'll see you next time. Bye.